The Tale of the White Cat. Luna of the Moon's Shadow. Chapter 6, The Gathering Darkness. Kai had returned to the village with a deeper understanding of the balance between light and shadow, thanks to the Shadow Sage's teachings. Yet, despite his newfound knowledge, a lingering sense of dread filled the air. The shadows had grown more intelligent, more strategic, and it was clear that their next move was coming soon. As Kai walked through the village streets, he noticed how peaceful everything seemed. Villagers went about their daily routines, unaware of the impending danger. But Kai could sense it. The shadows were gathering strength, and it was only a matter of time before they struck again. The hidden light, which now pulsed gently at his side, had become a constant companion, offering reassurance in the face of uncertainty. But Kai knew it wouldn't be enough to simply carry the light. He had to fully understand how to wield its power against the looming threat. A sudden attack. That night, as the village slept beneath the full moon, Kai's fears became a reality. He had been restless, tossing and turning in his bed, when he suddenly felt a cold breeze sweep through his window. His eyes snapped open, and he knew immediately what it meant. The shadows had returned. Without hesitation, Kai grabbed the hidden light and bolted out of his house. As he sprinted through the village, he could see the dark shapes creeping along the edges of the forest, moving toward the village like a black tide. The shadows slithered and twisted, their forms more menacing than before. "Kai," a voice called out from the darkness. It was the village elder, standing at the edge of the square, watching as the shadows approached. "They're stronger this time. We must protect the village at all costs." Kai nodded, gripping the hidden light tightly. "I'll do everything I can." The elder placed a hand on Kai's shoulder, his face grim. "Remember what the sage taught you. Balance is the key. You can't fight them with just the light." Kai took a deep breath, recalling the lessons from the sage. The shadows weren't simply enemies to be destroyed. They were part of a greater whole, part of the balance that held the world together. But knowing that didn't make facing them any easier. The battle begins. The shadows surged forward, their forms swirling and changing as they advanced on the village. The ground beneath Kai's feet trembled as the first of the creatures reached the outskirts, creeping toward the homes of unsuspecting villagers. Kai could feel the pull of the darkness, a cold, oppressive force that threatened to overwhelm him. But he wasn't the same boy who had faced the shadows before. This time, he understood their nature. He could feel the balance between light and shadow, a delicate thread that connected them. Drawing on that understanding, Kai held the hidden light aloft, letting its warmth spread through him. The light flared, pushing back the nearest shadows. They recoiled, hissing as the glow enveloped them. But instead of retreating, they regrouped, circling Kai like predators stalking their prey. Kai's heart pounded in his chest. He had to find the balance, not just in himself, but in the light. He closed his eyes, focusing on the connection between the hidden light and the shadows. He couldn't fight the shadows with raw power alone. He had to maintain the balance. The light in his hand began to shift, softening and brightening in response to his focus. The shadows hesitated, sensing the change. Kai opened his eyes, feeling the power of the light not as a weapon, but as part of the balance. With a deep breath, he stepped forward, holding the light steady as he walked into the darkness. The tipping point. As Kai moved deeper into the massive shadows, he could feel the weight of the darkness pressing against him. But instead of pushing it away, he allowed the light to blend with the shadows, creating a balance between the two forces. The shadows hissed and twisted, but they did not attack. They hovered, waiting as if unsure of what to do. Kai glanced around, realizing that something was different. The shadows were no longer mindless threats. They were reacting to him, responding to the balance he was trying to maintain. For a brief moment, the village square was eerily quiet, as if the battle had paused. But then a deep guttural voice echoed through the night. "You think balance can stop us, boy?" the voice growled. "The light may guide you, but the shadow will always consume." Kai's heart sank. He knew that voice, the same dark figure he had encountered in the temple. The leader of the shadows had returned, and it was stronger than ever. A towering figure emerged from the swirling darkness, its form shifting like smoke. Its eyes glowed with a malevolent light, and its voice was a low, menacing rumble. "You cannot fight what you do not understand." Kai steeled himself, gripping the hidden light tighter. "I've learned more than you think." The figure laughed, a hollow, echoing sound. "You believe in balance, but balance is fleeting. The shadows are eternal, and they will consume everything." Kai could feel the pull of the shadows growing stronger, threatening to unravel the balance he had worked so hard to maintain. But he refused to back down. He had come too far to let the darkness win. Luna's return. Just as the darkness seemed ready to overwhelm him, a familiar presence filled the air. A soft, calming voice echoed in Kai's mind, a voice he hadn't heard in what felt like an eternity. "Kai, I'm with you." Kai's breath caught in his throat. Luna. A soft glow appeared beside him, and there, bathed in moonlight, was Luna. The white cat's fur shimmered as if it were made of starlight, and her eyes sparkled with the wisdom of ages. She stood at Kai's side, her presence filling him with a renewed sense of hope. "Luna, you're here," Kai whispered, his voice filled with emotion. Luna nodded, her gaze fixed on the shadowy figure before them. "I never left you, Kai. The light and shadow are connected, and I've been guiding you through it all. But now, it's time for us to face this darkness together." Kai felt the hidden light in his hand respond to Luna's presence, glowing brighter and steadier than before. With Luna by his side, he knew they could find the balance they needed to defeat the shadows. The dark figure snarled, its form shifting angrily. "You think this creature can help you? She's nothing but a relic of the past." Luna stepped forward, her eyes blazing with determination. "I am the guardian of the balance. And together with Kai, we will stop you." The final stand. Kai and Luna stood side by side, the hidden light glowing with renewed strength. The dark figure loomed before them, its shadowy tendrils reaching out to engulf them. But Kai wasn't afraid. He could feel the balance between the light, the shadow, and Luna's power. Together, they moved as one, the light and shadow swirling around them. The darkness pressed in, but the balance held strong. Kai's connection to the hidden light had never been clearer, and with Luna's guidance, he knew they could face whatever came next. As the dark figure roared in anger, Kai raised the hidden light, its glow piercing through the shadows. The figure let out a final defiant howl before dissolving into the night, its form scattered by the light. The village was quiet once more. The shadows had been driven back, but Kai knew this was not the end. The balance between light and shadow was fragile, and the darkness would always seek to tip the scales. But with Luna by his side, Kai was ready for whatever came next.